Hello, comrades, and welcome back to Ushanka Show. Stories about life in the Soviet Union. Здравствуйте, дорогие товарищи! В эфире программа Ushanka Show. In his previous life, John Wayne Cheeseburger was called Comrade Sergey, and he was born in the USSR. Всем привет! Some time ago, I made a video called Peculiar Behaviors of the Soviet Workers, where I talked about this interesting terminology that existed in the Soviet Union called Nesun. Nesun is kind of awkward word. It's similar to English decider. So the person who decides is a decider, and the person who carries something is carrier, but in Russian it's nesti, so he is Nesun. So Nesuni were people who were stealing stuff from their places of work. So like my father, he was a spray painter, so guess what? We always had a lot of paint and paint thinners in our house. So you could tell where a person works if you look at his closet and see what items are stored there. And since the salaries in the Soviet Union were similar across the board, so around 150 to 200 rubles, quite often people were looking for items that could be stolen, and they were based their decision to get the job not on the salary but on the accessibility of different hard-to-get goods. And today we're going to talk about another interesting Russian-Soviet word related to work. So it's time for the Russian language lesson. Урок русского языка. Летун. Летун. So it could be translated as a flyer, because летать means to fly. So that's the person who flies often from one place of work to another. He's Letun. So as you may guess, the Soviet government wasn't really happy about Letuni, about Letuns, people that hop from one place of work to another, and actually had quite a hardcore propaganda against Letuni. Personally, I find it quite interesting because in America, population mobility considers like a good thing. The economists are watching for mobility of population, and if they see if it's dropping, that means the economy is slowing down. People are hunkering down, they don't look for better jobs, so it's a bad sign. Meanwhile, in Soviet Russia, mobility was a bad thing. So Letunstvo, it's pretty much you can call it as a mobility, was frowned upon and really not encouraged. I guess in a centrally planned economy, government wanted to make sure that people stay at their places of work that they are assigned to and don't move around too much, don't look for better jobs, for better pay, because it will throw the wrench into the centrally planned economy. So we had plenty of posters, caricatures, and other type of propaganda that discouraged and made fun of Letuni. There was even anti-letun propaganda in a children's magazine Murzilka back in 1938. Really crazy. So there was like a children's story about a little kid getting upset with his father because he is Letun, that he is changing places of work and he hurts factories that he constantly leaves behind. So I will translate this interesting message that was in the young children's magazine Murzilka. Ах, Октябринка, твой папа из-за 10 рублей хочет уйти на другую фабрику и стать летуном. Это нехорошо. Если он уйдет и другие уйдут, то фабрика станет, сказала мне мама. Oh, Октябринка, and that's really interesting. So her first name, Oktябринка, from October, when the October Revolution happened. Your daddy wants to go to a different factory because of 10 rubles difference. It will become Letun. This is not good. If he leaves and other leaves, then the fabric will stall, said mom. So I find it really funny. So mom is upset that your dad going for more money, but it will make him a bad guy because he'll become Letun. Any wife was like, go get more money. Here is not the case. And next, this little girl being a Soviet kid saying this. Daddy, you are not a good person. You're nasty. Mama was crying because of you. I told my dad later that night. What's wrong with you, Oktябринka? Asked father. Leave! You are Letun! Dad ran away from home angry. Mother was mad at me for hurting dad's feelings. So here goes Soviet propaganda teaching little kids about parents sticking around the factories, not daring to leave because they want to make more money. I can think of only one major reason why would Soviet government hated a situation when people hop from job to job, why it's hated Letuni. I would guess that most Letuni people were highly qualified workers, like lead engineers, scientists. So of course imagine if the lead engineer abandons factory, it could create a big trouble. They can fall behind. They won't make their quota, and it hurts production and hurts other factories down the line. So they wanted to stop that. Like Elon Musk right now, not really happy that one of his main engineers who was in charge of designing the Tesla Model S, he quit and then started working for Lucid, another electrical car company. So that's kind of a similar situation. You may already notice that many of these posters against Letuni shows them have like wings made out of a paper, out of those little book. This is actually workbook, or before 1974 there was a inner passport, because besides nationality, propiska, in our old passports we also had stamps about where a person works. So there'll be stamps about being hired and being fired. So it was quite easy to recognize Letun. All you need to do is open his passport to see where he works. And if you see a lot of this ink stamps says принят на работу, уволен с работы, принят на работу, уволен с работы. If a person changes his place of work every 3-4 years, he's Letun. And since the salaries were quite similar across the board, I believe Nesuni people were mostly looking for benefits. For example, to find a factory which has the shortest waiting list to get an apartment. Then maybe, okay, I got an apartment now. Now I need to look for another factory that has the shortest list to get a car. And that will be just hopping from place to place, taking advantage of the benefits, then abandon factory and moving along. So you may already guessed, Letuni were people who didn't care about building communism. All they cared about themselves. Actually, my mother was a Letun in the beginning of her career. She worked for a very short time at the daycare facility until she realized there is no way she could get an apartment there. And people told her, you're just wasting your time because they don't offer any benefits like to get an apartment. Then she worked at the brick factory on a night shift because they had the shortest waiting list for an apartment, but then she realized that physical work was way too hard for her, and she quit there. Meanwhile, my father, in all his working career, he worked, over 40 years. He only had 2 places of work. He worked at the Kiev aviation factory, Zavod Antonova, spray painting AN airplanes, and then later he changed the job just because it was too far from our new apartment, and then he was spraying Ural trucks and other equipment. I just thought about, I guess Letun could be translated as a frequent flyer. And Soviet Union didn't appreciate that program. So here you go, my friends, another page in the book about life in the Soviet Union. You already knew about Nesun. Now you know about Letun. Well, if you made all the way to the end of this long and boring video, thank you so much. Now, please don't forget to like it. Option to tip is available now on YouTube. It's a little heart below the video. I appreciate your support, and we'll talk to you soon. До свидания. Goodbye. by the way, cool merch for cool comrades is available at the Ushanka store at teespring.com. Just a friendly reminder that my book American Diaries is available on amazon.com, or shoot me an email if you would like to have a signed copy. Thank you! And if you love my channel and would like to show your support, please click on the link below this video and become the patron of the Ushanka Show. For as little as $1, you can help us grow and create the new, interesting videos about the life and